In this video, we're going to share some of our experiences as we hike the trails of Theodore Roosevelt National Park.
So if you're doing a research and just want to relive it with us, let's go. From learning to traveling adventures, subscribe to my channel and don't forget to hit the little bell icon to be notified when I upload a video every Wednesday. Hey friends! After visiting Badlands National Park, we visited Theodore Roosevelt National Park.
We went to both the north and the south units, but we started in the north.
The first hike that we did was Caprock Coulee, and it was a loop.
We started at a different parking lot because they were doing some construction at the Caprock Coulee parking lot.
Definitely a detour.
It was a really cool trail, and we were there just in time for some of the fall colors.
Oh, it's beautiful. I love the fall colors. Just all the colors that we don't really get in Texas very much at all. Or if we do, it's for a very short period of time and not in Austin.
Where we started, we got like a lot of good scenic views out over the river valley, and it was really beautiful. And then we kind of hiked downward into, I guess, being amongst the trees and kind of through the valley area.
The other trail we went on was a very short trail, a very short walk. It was called Little Mo Trail, and it had a guide that went with it, which thankfully there was one left, and I'm pretty sure that everyone that was using it put it back in the box so that the next person could use it. So if you remember to do that, that's great.
It's quick, partially paved, had a view of the river, pointed out some interesting facts, but you didn't get to see all that much.
One of the trails that we went on in the South Unit was the Coal Vein Trail, which also had a guide. The little newspaper that we got says, ask for a guide at the visitor center. And I took that to mean ask for a person guide. But I think I meant ask for one of these brochure guides. Something of interest.
Point something out to you that you probably wouldn't notice. And maybe it's not even like something very interesting to look at, but it has like interesting facts if you're into that kind of thing.
Two, we'll never know what it means.
The North Unit is in between Watford and Grassy Butte.
No one's gonna know where Grassy Butte is.
Grassy Butte is like a speck on the map. I don't think they have a stoplight.
It's where we stayed though.
We stayed in Grassy Butte.
It's a great location because it's very close to the North Unit, and that's pretty much the only place to stay nearby. We did go up to Watford City for lunch, and that was unexpectedly delicious. Amazing. I really liked Stonehouse Brewing Company. The pizza was really good. They have this pizza.
The jalapeno popper?
The jalapeno popper.
It's got like a cream cheese, jalapeno, and then they also put some like jam drizzled around it. Just a light touch for a little hint of sweet, and that's really good. And the beer there was good as well.
One of the other hikes that we did in the South Unit was the Petrified Forest Trail. This
one was interesting. You have to kind of drive out of the park and then hop on this dirt road.
There are two ways to go. You could go the north way or you go the south way, and both have the petrified forest.
The north one is kind of more spread out, and then the south one is kind of mostly on the trail.
A mile and a half in and you'll hit it. And it's really cool to see the petrified woods. You can easily hit both of the petrified forest sections. We only went to one.
The south side.
Mainly because there was a group of school kids at the north side, so we were like, which way are y'all going? We're gonna go the other way.
Just curious. Which way are you going? Both the north and south units have a scenic drive. The north unit has a 14-mile drive, and it's a there and back with a nice outlook at the end.
Oh wow.
The south unit has a 36-mile loop. However, when we were going, there was construction being done, so it turned out to be a there and back as well. But we did a couple of the hikes along the way.
It was a really short one. You walk out into a field of prairie dogs.
Prairie dogs!
Prairie dogs everywhere. And that's pretty much all there is to see. We walked to the end and there's like a little old building and some bricks and stuff.
So in the Badlands, we went to Robert's Prairie Dog Town, but they all were scared and ran away from me. But the prairie dog holes were right along the trail, so they weren't, some of them were just sunbathing. I love prairie dogs.
Prairie dogs everywhere.
You're done with them.
I was over them. They were cool to see the first like 2 times. And I was like, they are everywhere.
Help. Another hike that we went on along the Scenic Loop was the Wind Canyon Trail.
This was a really good trail. I mean, it's really short, but a great view out over the river. We got to see tons of buffalo from that spot.
Yeah.
There was a big herd just grazing, 2 herds even, maybe 3, I don't know.
Maybe 4 or 5. On our way out back towards South Dakota, we stopped at the Painted Canyon Visitor Center. There's a trail there.
This was a little weird. It's almost like a welcome to the park kind of spot, but you don't actually have to go into the park to get there. You get a nice like view. If you just want to do a drive-by through Theodore Roosevelt Park, pull over at the Painted Canyon, get your photos in, stretch your legs if you want on the Painted Canyon Trail, and you're good.
What I would do next time, I would stop at the Painted Canyon Trail on my way up to the North Unit, because I very much preferred the North Unit with all of the colors, the more trees.
I liked the North Unit more. The scenery was much nicer. You know, it was less trafficked. Yeah, it just seemed like a nicer place to be. We had a really good experience there.
Yeah, the South Unit is right up alongside this town called Medora, which there are plenty of places to stay and plenty of places to eat, whereas the North is kind of, again, in the middle of nowhere. When there is a solitary buffalo, which we did see quite often, it usually indicates that they're older.
So there's 450 in the South Unit and there's about 220 in the North Unit.
At the North Unit, I think we saw, maybe 4? And then at the South Unit, that's where we saw herds of them. They were everywhere.
And we saw feral horses and
And a
dogs.
coyote.
We did see a coyote.
Yeah, a glimpse of it.
If you're interested in another hike, we also did the highest point in North Dakota. It's called White Butte Trail.
And it's not very high at all.
No, but it was
a decent little hike.
Yeah, I liked it. It's very windy up at the top. I thought it was very nice to kind of get away.
Yeah, just middle of nowhere, take some dirt roads.
Literally no one else was there.
So we stopped by the Summit Campground. It's not part of the national parks, but it looks just like the north section. It's got fall colors and there were cows, so beware of cows. You can camp there.
If you're interested in the national parks, check out the videos below. I've linked a video on hot springs in Arkansas as well as Badlands in South Dakota.
Thanks for watching and remember to smash the like button.
Don't forget to subscribe and I'll see you next week. Bye!
Bye!
Okay.
Cut.
Roosevelt National Park.
Pork.
Hey friends, we really get out
What is happening?
I don't remember when I wrote.
This is like a much improved Badlands.